Hello everyone, I am Srinivasa NT, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Age College, Madhugiri, Tumkur University. Today I will discuss the play Look Back in Anger, written by John Osborne. The subtitle is The Plot of the Play, Act 1. Let us see learning objectives. Reading literature of drama is not just about learning about the works themselves, but also learning how the world works. Through the exploration of literature, students have the opportunity to put themselves in other shoes, giving them the chance to see how the people are connected and better understand the complex dynamic of the human relationship. Learning outcome. It improves the reading skills, fosters the appreciation and empathy. Let us see summary and analysis of the act first. The play opens with a description of the setting and the scene. Act 1 takes place on an evening in April. The setting is the Alison Porter's attic apartment. It is a it is a very small room with a simple, sparse furniture. It is messy with items such as books, neckties, and odds and ends, including a large, tattered, uh, tie teddy bear and soft, woolly squirrel. There is a large window in the attic, but the only light comes from skylight. So the room is the room is somewhat dim. As the curtain rises, audience sees Jimmy Potter and Cliff Lewis seated in two shabby armchairs. They are reading newspaper which cover the top of the which cover top of their bodies, so that the audience can only see their legs. Jimmy is smoking a cigar and wearing a tweed jacket and flannel pants. Then we can see the opening of the play um, gives detailed descriptions of the um, you know, detailed descriptions of the dispositions of each character. Jimmy, who is about 25 years old, is described as a disconcerting mixture of sincerity and cheerful malice of tenderness and of freebooting cruelty, restless, importunate, full of pride, a combination which alienates the sensitive and insensitive alike. Cliff, who is about the same age as Jimmy, is almost the opposite of Jimmy. He is relaxed, almost to lethargy, and easygoing. Cliff demands other people's love, um, while Jimmy mostly repels it. Also in the attic is Alison Porter. Um, Alison Porter, Jimmy's wife. She is she is very tall, slim, dark girl, whose whose personality is not immediately apparent to the audience. She is ironing a pile of laundry. Jimmy throws his paper down in disgust. He complains that all the books reviews sound the same and that the papers provide no intellectual stimulation. He asks Cliff violently if the paper make him feel ignorant. He calls Cliff a peasant. The audience comes to understand that Cliff has not received the same education that Jimmy has received. Jimmy then turns his enmity towards Allison, who is only half listening to his ranting. Cliff tries to deflect some of Jimmy's anger away from her, but Jimmy keeps on with his ranting. Jimmy obviously feels that Allison is not as brilliant as she and others think she is. Jimmy then becomes upset that nobody is listening to him when he speaks, and he steals the newspaper from Cliff. Jimmy tells the Jimmy tells the other two that he is hungry, and Cliff mocks him for always wanting food. Cliff tells him that he will end up he will end up being fat one day. But Jimmy tells him that won't happen because we just burn everything up. He demands that Cliff make him some tea, and Cliff complains because he has already had a potful that day. Cliff then complains that Jimmy had creased his paper, and Jimmy tells him that I am the only one who knows how to treat a paper or anything else in this house. Cliff is kind to Allison. He tells her to leave the laundry and come sit down, and she comes over where Cliff, in a flirting manner, bites her fingers and tells her she is beautiful. Jimmy is not bothered by this. He only looks at her and says, "That's what they all tell me." They begin to discuss the articles in the paper by the Bishop Broomley, who urges all Christians to support the manufacture of the H bomb and denies the existence of class distinction. Jimmy discusses some of the other odd articles in the paper. A woman had several ribs broken and her head kicked when a crowd rushed to the stage at a meeting of an American evangelist. He marks an article on love advice for young women. When Allison suggests that they go to the movie, Jimmy declares that he will not have his evening ruined. He then goes on rant about a journalist who wrote a poor piece in the paper. Jimmy proclaims that nobody reads the paper because nobody can be bothered. No one can raise themselves out of their delicious cloth. Cliff treasures are wrinkled, and Allison offers to iron them. Cliff wants to a pipe but cannot stand the smell of it, and so starts to smoke a cigarette even though Jimmy warns him they will upset his ulcers. Jimmy begins to reflect on the state of the English nation. He remembers an old saying about England. We get our cooking from Paris, our politics from Moscow, and our morals from Port Said. He knows that he should not be very patriotic, but he says sarcastically that he can't help out idealize Allison's father's time spent in the British Army in India. He decides that it's a pretty dreary living in the American age, unless you are an American of course. Cliff and Jim discuss whether the Allison's friend Webster might come over to visit. Jimmy hopes not, but Allison notes that he is the only person that understands him. Jimmy says that Webster exhilarates him in the same way that one of his old girlfriends, name Madeline, did. Jimmy talks about Allison's brother Nigel, Nigel was a soldier in the British Army and is moving up in the world. Jimmy thinks he will be in Parliament one day, though he also believes that Nigel seeks a sanctuary in his own stupidity. Jimmy continues to disparage Allison and her family. He calls them psychopathic, phlegmatic, and pusillanimous. Jimmy then tries to explain what the word pusillanimous means. He tells her it means wanting of firmness of mind, of small courage, having a little mind, mean spirited, cowardly, timid of mind. He tells her that this word describes her perfectly. Allison's face contorts in anger, but the feeling passes and she returns to irony. The concert that Jimmy wants to listen to comes on the radio, and Allison finishes ironing Cliff's pants. Allison no Allison um, keeps ironing, and Jimmy complains that he cannot hear the music because of the noise. He angrily turns off the radio, and Allison chides him for acting like a child. He begins to yell about he begins to yell about how loud and how loud women are, and describes her clumsiness by telling her she is like a dirty old Arab sticking his fingers into some mess of the lamb, fat and gristle. Church bell church bell church bells start ringing outside, and this noise upsets Jimmy even more. Cliff, trying to improve the mood, pretends to dance with Jimmy to the bells and grips him in a voice while Jimmy protests. Jimmy and Cliff wrestles, and Jimmy pushes Cliff into Allison's under ironing board. They fall to the floor together, and Allison burns her arm on the iron. Jimmy tries to apologize, but Allison yells for him to leave the room. He goes into his room and begins to play his trumpet. Cliff sits down with her and gets some soap to wash the wound. Allison confides to him that I don't think I can take much more. I don't think I want anything more to do with love. Cliff tells Allison that she is too young to give up, but she responds that these days she cannot remember what it was like to be really young and carefree. She knows Jimmy feels the same way. As Cliff continues to bandage her arm, she tells him that she is pregnant and that she has not told Jimmy. He asks her if it is too late to avoid the situation, and she tells him she doesn't know. He urges her to tell Jimmy because Jimmy does love her, even though he is cruel. She believes that Jimmy will suspect that she is attempting to trap him in a life with her. She tells Cliff that Jimmy has his own private morality, and that he had been angry when he had slept with her on their wedding night and found out she was a virgin, as if an untouched woman would defile him. Cliff tells her that he understands Jimmy in some way. They both they both come from the working class people, and Jimmy likes him for that. In Jimmy's words, it is because Cliff is a common as dirt. Jimmy re enters the room and sees the Cliff and Allison stretching and close together on the couch. But he doesn't say anything and sits down to read the paper. He makes fun of the two of them and how physically affectionate they are with each other. Jimmy tells Cliff that he is just a randy little mouse, and Cliff begins to run and dance around the flat like a mouse. He grabs Jimmy's foot and then begins to tussle. When they finish playing, Allison gives a Cliff off a crown for cigarette and he exits to go to the store. Jimmy enters again in a apologetic mood. He tells Allison that he is sorry that he pushed her down. He tells her that there is hardly a moment with I'm not watching and wanting you. He acknowledges that sometimes he takes her for granted and Allison wants to his affection. Jimmy suggests that they have sex, but Allison shyly reminds him that Cliff will return soon. Jimmy reflects that Cliff is probably the only friend he has, though he remembers all his former friends from school. He and Allison tease each other, calling her a squirrel, and she calling him a bear. She makes a squirrel noises as they hug each other. Cliff enters and tells them he couldn't even leave the house because Mrs. Drury, their landlord, would not let him get away. Cliff tells Allison that she has a call from Elena Charles. Allison leaves to take the call. Jimmy uh, tells Cliff that this is the one of Allison's old friends and he calls her a bitch. He explains that she is one of his natural enemies. Jimmy reflects that he has had enough of this expanse of spirit lark as far as women are concerned. He thinks that they have a cause and that plenty of women have a revolutionary fight to them. Most people don't like him because he's got a strawberry mark to him as a right wing deviationist. He goes through Allison's purse and finds a letter from her mother. He is angry because Allison and her mother write letters but never mention his name because it's a dirty word to them. Allison re enters and tells Jimmy that Elena is coming to stay with him, will stay with them while she is in town. Jimmy is angry. He tells her that she devours his passions as a python devours an animal. Allison sends over the stove and trembles as Cliff watches the scene. Thank you.